Good morning, good afternoon if you're watching the replay. Hurrah. Welcome to week 8 of Level Up. I just seen a little message there. I'll just have a look. I'll be in and out of service. Was that you, Nick? Was that for... Oh, but would have been on Saturday anyway. Okay, cool. Thanks, Nick. Week 8. So we're going to do a quick revision of last week. I was just having a little word about that a moment ago before I hit record about how the mirror exercise and the connection and relationship you have with your body actually trumps the other pillars, because you obviously we looked at the fuel and the movement, the rest and the connection. So the 4 pillars of really having this optimal way of supporting your temple and functioning really optimally. You take away the connection and the rest becomes transactional. Okay, if you are not connected to your body and you are not devoted to your body and you do not have respect for your body, eating is going to feel like a chore. Movement is going to feel very resistant. and even the rest, rest would often be a low vibration, so sick, right? The core of functioning optimally truly is a connection, a deep connection with yourself and with your body, with this temple. And I spoke about last week how it is the longest relationship you have. Your temple houses you, your consciousness. It is the very thing, this temple, this body is the very thing that makes you human. Because without this body, without this temple, you're a spirit. Like, it's the only difference. When we can come into this place of having like absolute devotion and love and this deep connection and respect for the temple, the journey of the other pillars is so much more easeful. You will want to fuel your body when you have respect and love for it. When you look at relationships outside of the inner ones, same thing. Like when you have a solid, loving connection, you want to water it, don't you? You want to give more. You just naturally want to give more. Even in our own personal relationships, like with partners, when you're in a loving union, you want to give. You want to give more and more and more. And it becomes this beautiful watered union. And when you are in one that's fucking shit, you actually pull away and you feel resentful to give. You don't want to give, right? And it's the same with this relationship with ourselves and our bodies. The more connection you have with your temple, the more you're going to want to fuel it, the more you're going to want to move that emotion through, and the more that you're going to rest in a high vibration. And this could look like a fucking lunchtime nap, that you're surrounded in this nurturing, beautiful energy. This could look like, snuggling up in the lounge and you're being very conscious and intentional with resting and refueling, right? So the connection to your body is the foundation. And I really hope that everybody's had the opportunity to do that mirror exercise. I know that there are a couple of comments of, I've done it quickly, or I'd like to go deeper. Go deeper. Go deeper. This can be 30 minutes. You've got 150 hours in the week or something, like 30 minutes to actually just be with your body. We spoke about even the yoni, like connecting even more deeply and, going down and looking at your body and your yoni and really allowing yourself to connect deeply with all parts of you. And one of the things that I really wanted to highlight was when you do mirror work, pay really close attention to the part that you get the resistance on, the part that you feel contraction, the part that you're trying to avoid. Because we know in any healing, in any personal growth work, it's always in the parts that we avoid. That's where the medicine is. That's where the growth is. That's where like the reset is, right? Curbs, my knee has been fabulous this week since the mirror work. Left knee is feminine. Beautiful. Jane, I did the mirror exercise, but called to do it again under the energy of the full moon and eclipses. Also, with what's coming through this week, for me with sacred sexuality. Yeah. So and go down on yourself with your eyes. Like actually like coming into that space. Eileen again did the mirror work again, took some shadowy photos. Oh yes, like Kirby suggested, loved it. It was amazing. I loved your share of your beautiful temple growing a human, Eileen. It was so beautiful to witness. Like I was deep in my heart witnessing you move with this like, well, growing a soul, like growing a human. It was so beautiful. I've got what's this new replies? Okay, I don't think I can see that. Oh yes, Curbs is cheering you on there. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely, without a doubt. Curbs will be doing that practice that you have suggested. The moment I read that, I was like, oh, this has to happen. This is a practice, and this could be a guided practice, and this could be something that can really support women in a group setting. So I'll absolutely be using that. And I just love that you shared that. So connection. And if you felt resistance to this exercise, that is a very clear indicator to fucking do it even more. Right, whatever we're resisting, there's like beautiful medicine in there, and there's beautiful growth in there. So lean in with curiosity, with compassion, and do this exercise. And it's not a one and done. It could be something that you do every Sunday evening. You have a bath and you connect with your body, and also little things like going slowly in the shower when you're washing your body. We don't aim for perfection here. That's not the goal. Okay, in any kind of growth work, in any work, like there's no such thing as fucking perfection. Okay, so when we were speaking about the body, we were talking about balance. We want the different pillars to kind of feel in balance. So the fuel, the movement, the rest, the connection. You want them all to be. If they were all at 3, I'd be like, cool. Like let's like lift them all up a bit, but they're in balance. And if they're all at 9, amazing. But it's not about perfection. It's about having balance. So keep checking in with your body. It is the very thing that gets you from A to B. It's the very thing that houses you, that supports you, that stores everything that you are experiencing. So keep checking in with your body. And like all the work that we are doing inside Level Up, it's not just do it for this week. It's bringing it into your daily practice. It's bringing it into the forefront of your awareness. It's allowing yourself to make it part of who you are, that you are aware that your body is an important part, that your temple is an important part of your healing and of your growth, right? Honor, devotion, and connection, the most fucking important. So we're going to lean in now to our reflection and recalibration. And each week that we do this, my goal is to not need to, or not feel like I need to guide you as much. My goal is for you to do this in a really self-led way. So I'm going to actually just create a pause this morning, and then I'll give you some prompts if needed afterwards. Remembering we are reflecting on the past week only. So we can witness ourselves from above, Saturday through to Saturday, looking at who you've been, how you've been, and looking for the dominant mood or emotion. You are all very much self-led beings. You are very self-aware. Hold it. Allow yourself to see the patterns, the cycles, the shadows, okay, over this past week. So I'm just going to give you a moment to do this in a self-led way. I'm going to say 3 minutes, and then I'll come back in with some prompts if needed. This is something that I would love for you all to get so confident in doing, in leaning into yourself, in allowing yourself to witness the shadow. In knowing that this is like the juice. If you can get comfortable in observing and witnessing yourself through this lens of truth and courage and compassion, then you will prevent shitty habits from developing. Remembering to clock the ego when it comes in. You know, oh, the week before I done this, or this week all this stuff happened, so I couldn't. There's always going to be things. This is not about how busy you were, how much you worked. This is not about what challenges you experienced, because let's face it, in this human journey, there are always going to be challenges. This is you getting yourself to a place of really knowing who you are and how you are, and being able to witness and observe that through all the different phases, through all the different cycles. And moving away from listening to the excuses of the ego and coming back to a place of going, yeah, but I can still lead myself through challenges. Yeah, but I can still regulate myself during challenges. And if you're witnessing shadows come up, once you see them and can clear them, you will be able to prevent that from becoming that shitty habit. So important that we don't judge our humanness. Don't judge that. Just see it. Just witness it. And for those watching the recording, Cass, Cara watching the recording, when you do this practice, like mute me. If you can lead yourself, mute while I am sharing this. See how far you can lead yourself without the guidance. Because this is something I've been doing for a really long time. I started doing this powerful shadow work in a mastermind, and you get to do it yourself. You don't need to be like, once we close Level Up, I want you to then continue doing it every Saturday, to lean in, to witness yourself over the past week, to clock yourself, to recognize, oh, okay, I noticed this was a cycle last week and the week before. I'm choosing to shift this. I'm choosing to see what's underneath this. We're not doing this to judge. We're doing this to see what requires shifting, what requires attention, adjustment, recalibration. And for some of you, it will feel like nitpicking, particularly if you've had like an incredible week of growth and you know, mastery. And you're like, oh, wow, like I had such a good week. Like I'm searching for something. Good, search for it. Locate it before it becomes big. Like this is literally like, they're showing me knits. It's like you get one little knit before it goes through the whole, Jamie must have the same analogy, before it goes through the whole head, right? You're literally picking out that one lice before it just goes and takes over. This is what you're doing for shadow work. It may seem tiny or insignificant in comparison to the growth that you're experiencing, in comparison to what you're doing, but let yourself see it before it becomes big, right? So yes, we're looking at what the dominant emotion was. We're looking at the dominant mood with you, with honesty and curiosity, looking for any patterns, cycles. But we're also looking at what worked. What are you celebrating? Remember the polarity of the journey. You want to be able to hold the I am growing and I am glowing piece. Like hold that contradiction. In the same fucking session, sit and go, this is where I'm fucking doing amazing and I'm going to like double down on that. And then this is what's requiring more attention from me, and be able to hold both. And when a shadow is identified, what did you need? We all know reflection is one of the most powerful things we have as humans. What did we need? What did you need? What's driving that shadow? And if you are truly in a place of going, I am just overwhelmed with the incredible growth that I have experienced, my dominant mood was a high vibration, then how can you call yourself forward even more? How can you call yourself forward even more? If you are up to this part of the practice, you go ahead so you can get out your activation statement. You know that we do this every week. You're getting that out because you're on a competition as you. You are looking at these affirmations, this page of statements that you created that resonated deeply with you, and you're going to read them. And then look at the shadows you identified. What's the bridge? What's in between them? What's the thing that's going to bridge you between that shadow and this activation statement? And given that we've been doing this practice now for 8 solid weeks, what comes up each week? Can you see that there's something that comes up each week in this practice? Do not underestimate this practice. This is one of the most powerful parts of this program. So please give it your all. And if you're feeling resistant or you're feeling like, oh no, I couldn't really be bothered, fucking go into this. This is how you master yourself. This is how you truly level up, by catching shit. And we know that the next step, turn your page over and create your action steps for this week. This could be what you've identified that you needed during the shadow. What did your soul need from you? What was driving the shadow? What did you need? You could simply circle or write down in columns what needs attention, adjustment, or recalibration. Sometimes attention is enough. It's like being aware of it, bringing it into the forefront of your mind. Sometimes adjustments are required. Adjustments in how you hold yourself, adjustments in how you're showing up for yourself, adjustments in your day-to-day being. And sometimes it's a recalibration, and that would be like a healing. That'll be a shift, a reset. So we started this practice, and I think when we first started it, I'm sure I would have been up to an hour. You know, I've been really trying to condense it down to support you in doing this very efficiently so that you can continue doing this regularly. When you can make it part of just who you are, when you can get yourself in this space where you're actually comfortable being uncomfortable, you could do this in 10 minutes. I'd done a mastermind, as I said, with a lady who's just big on shadow work. And the way that she led that mastermind was very, very quick, very like there was no holding hands. It was like, no, just look at yourself. Just do it like that, like that. And it was incredibly like challenging at the time without the guidance, right? And so I've been very mindful to create this in a way that supports you in really getting it, really getting it. And I have reiterated the exact same phrase, the exact same process for you week after week, so that your mind is being programmed right now. How to search for, see, and shift your shadows. How to witness yourself without judgment. Let this be normal. Like this is like the like the exposure, therapy. The first time it's like, fuck, that last week I was da-da-da-da. Now it's like, okay, cool. I can see last week that I was a little bit da-da-da. What I needed was, I'm choosing to lead with that this week. Choosing to be really aware of that this week, because I am choosing to no longer create shitty cycles or let anything slide under my radar. Right? Curbs, I love me, I created her is my activation statement. I'm not feeling loved by others at the moment, especially since I've loved myself more this week. I feel I deserve more. How would you frame it in the recalibration part of this? Yeah, so I'm straight away seeing standards. So, there's the piece of loving yourself. I've been making sure that you are meeting your needs and you are deeply loving yourself. So I'll do the recalibration myself. Am I truly giving myself what I need? Am I truly loving and devoting time to me? And if that is a solid yes for you, then it's okay. I've risen my own internal standards. So now I need to raise the standards outside of me. Okay. And so that would be, before I was okay eating crumbs, or before I felt okay, having just a little bit, but now I require more. And so this is having the courage to express that your standards have shifted. And, you can do this in a really empowering and clear way. And, I'm obviously saying Scott now, so it would be something like you creating a date night and you creating beautiful situations where you can receive the love, or you saying, I'd really love it if we could have a weekend together. I'd really love it if, when you get home, we could just have time together and snuggle and really like more physical touch, or whatever it may be. Okay. When we start shifting the way we treat ourselves, you will naturally shift how others treat you, as with in, so without. And if you have a very clear, standard, it will be easy for that to occur. It'll be easy for that to occur, okay? Because it'll be so obvious to you, like it probably is to you now, Curbs. So obvious, like, I'm loving myself this much. I feel like it's probably needs to be fucking leveled up out here, right? And so lead, but do it from a place of compassion, knowing that they haven't changed, you have. And that's so important. They haven't changed, you have. So give grace while you lead. Give grace while you express the shift that you've had and what you require. Okay. I'd really love if that you'd all get comfortable doing this even more regularly. So a Saturday morning, that may have looked really big for you guys. Sometimes, a lot of you are in moon's nice, so you're reflecting once a fortnight. This may have felt like a stretch because it's every single Saturday you're reflecting over the week that has been. Go even more. Reflect each day. Like, this is where your power is at. This is where the shift is. This process, when you implement this, you become who you fucking want to be, because you're ultra aware. And this is often the missing link in leveling up or in growing or in healing, right? People go, oh, I want the thing. Like, I really want to launch my business, or I really want to shift friendships, or I really want to have or do or be whatever it is, right? And so they work on the goals, and they work on the discipline, they work on all the things that we've been working on. But they're missing the shadow work. And so they repeat the same fucking thing. I have goals, I try to reach them, I can't reach them, I don't know why, I'm just going to try again. I have goals, I can't, and repeat. The thing that's going to have you leveling up your life like you never have before is this fucking shadow work. This is being able to witness yourself and go, okay, I say my standard is to respect myself, but I've just recognized that for this week, I fucking not moved my body. My dominant emotion was frustration. And I've been eating junk every single fucking day of the week. Right? And so you've got the incongruency. And when you can see that, you're like, fuck, that's why I'm not reaching my weight loss goal. Instead of playing victim and allowing the mind to pick out, oh, but you worked out on Wednesday morning. You're doing so well and you're trying so hard. Doing all the things to reach your goal, but just can't shift the weight. Yeah, because you're not looking at the shadows. You're not looking at who you really were. You're picking out only the moments that were glows. This process supports you in understanding, A, why you hadn't reached goals previously, but B, in reaching them now, understanding that like what's needed to reach them now. Irene, I was thinking every evening, yeah, really powerful. So you must be able to hold this. So I wouldn't have suggested this at the start of Level Up, because honestly, when you start doing this, you need to be solid. You need to be somewhat solid. If you're feeling fucking fragile and you start looking at your shadows, you can very quickly spiral, right? This is for people who are very self-aware and who have done quite significant work. So it's important that you have a solid foundation when you're doing this work so that you don't fucking spiral once you start seeing shadows. A solid foundation and awareness where you're like, I fucking know I'm in this human journey. I'm not perfect, and that's okay. And I allow myself to see a shadow. It's not who I am. It's just an aspect. And I see that so I can shift it. So it's important that when you do this, you have the capacity to hold it and you frame it that way. So you frame it. You go into it and you remind yourself, I'm human, having a human experience. I'm choosing to see any shadows right now so that I can clock them, because I am devoted and disciplined to reach my goal. I am devoted and disciplined to reach my goal. It's so interesting. When we first done this, I am sure that most of you, before I said to you, just the last week, most of you would have started clocking all the things you've been doing weeks, even months prior. Like, oh, yeah, no, like I've done this and I've done that and I've done this. It's like, no. It's what people do with their goals. They go, oh, I'm doing everything, I'm trying everything, and their brain will have a list of things that they are doing to give that like validation, right? Of like, yeah, I'm trying everything. But you're not looking at like the gaps. You're not looking at like where you're dropping the ball. You're not looking at the lulls. And that's the thing that's going to support you in reaching the goal. It's in seeing the lull and rising. It's in meeting the need underneath and understanding why. Like, what's driving that? Why does that behavior come up? Why has that shadow come up, right? And then clearing the driving force underneath it, whether that's worthiness, sabotage, whatever it may be. Very, very powerful practice. So continue doing it. And as we get into this sort of third leg of Level Up, please play with it through the week. Play with it through the week. And at the end of each day, just have a little bit of a reflection back on yourself. What was my dominant emotion today? What was I feeling today? Any shadows, anything that's like tried to like, work its way back into my awareness or come back into, impacting the way that I show up, right? Remember, what requires attention, adjustment, and recalibration. When you can look at it through that lens, you are solution focused. You're not here to fucking judge. You're here to create a solution. Simple. Whenever we judge, whenever we shame, we stay the same. Right? We stay the same. This is about seeing, shifting. So, moving your bodies before we come into this week's content. So have a look. Make sure you've got a little action sheet there for the week coming. And if you have, move your body, shake, tap, clap, wiggle, jiggle, jump, star jump, move, twirl, swirl, do whatever feels good for you to shift your state right now. We're shifting out of reflection mode and into learning mode. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Very, very quick reflection. I was looking over the mastermind, and I just had so much joy when I remembered this journey, and I was going through like each week what we've been working on. And I wanted to remind you all as well, because you're all busy, you're all wearing many hats, and I want to kind of keep the thread going for the whole program so you can actually see what sparks your attention, your awareness, and it might be a little invitation for you to revisit that particular week. But so far, we have done identity, who you're choosing to be and who you need to be in order to reach the goals, in order to be and have and create the thing. We worked on goals. That's the what. What do you actually want? How are you leveling up your life? The strategy piece, and that was the how. How are you achieving your goals? The discipline and devotion, which is one of my favorite topics. Really, really leaning into the 2Ds and how they work so beautifully together, and how we need to be devoted to our goals in order to be disciplined, really. The standards piece, I know that was really big for everybody. We worked on the rest for success. Okay, and as I say these, notice what happens in your awareness. Where it's like, oh yeah, that was really good. That was really shifting for me. Or I'd like to really redo this or get even a more deeper understanding. And then, of course, last week we worked on the body, right? We worked on the body. This week is something that is going to support you in having greater levels of success and in staying on path. Aline, I missed the rest mind maps for some reason. Interesting. I might have to go back and look at that. Yes. So see how when I'm just taking you through, you're like, oh, yeah, actually, I've missed this. So please do go back. That was really important. The rest mind map, if you have not done that, please fucking do that. Do that. This is you reprogramming your brain about what rest is. And if you still think rest is this low vibrational fucking lazy shit, then you need to re-listen to that week. Re-listen to it. Rest fuels productivity. Rest allows you to really show up optimally. Rest in a higher vibration is so nurturing and nourishing and so like fuels productivity, fuels it. So please, if you haven't done that, do that. So this week, it's going to support you in how will I put this? Continuing to have clarity throughout your journey, regardless of what occurs, okay? So no doubt, throughout this last 8 weeks, you have all experienced grows and glows, right? It hasn't been like this, you've entered into level up and life's just rainbows and lollipops, right? Of course, there's been experiences. I know Kara's, moving through a big thing at the moment with her son. We've had Eileen's fucking become pregnant, growing in human. There's been really big things for all of you throughout this program. And you've all experienced setbacks, right? Setbacks. And this week, we are going to speak about emotional mastery. And we're going to do it from the lens of setbacks. Because I think what happens when people get really motivated to reach goals, to level up their lives, and then the very human things occur, so quickly they become derailed. So quickly. It's like, oh, well, fuck it. My goals don't matter. All this doesn't matter. It's just I've got more important things to do, right? Oh, Ellen, when you said Eileen's become pregnant for a split second, I heard Irene. Like, what? Irene's pregnant? Immaculate conception. So I wanted to really support you all in this. Now, look, emotional mastery is such a powerful fucking tool for now. Just call me Mary. Yeah. Queen Mary Magdalene, yeah. It's such a powerful tool for navigating setbacks in personal development. Okay. Now, what happens when you are growing and you are really focusing on leveling up your life, right? On your personal development, your personal growth, it will feel like at times you have more setbacks. And it's not that you've got more setbacks, it's just that you're ultra aware. You become more aware of yourself when you are in a dome of growth. Right? When you are witnessing yourself, when you are regularly checking in with your shadows, you're like, oh my God, like I feel like I'm having lots of setbacks. No, it's just that you're more aware of them. Okay. Every single woman in this group is self-led and committed to growth. You all fucking know what emotions are. I'm not going to go into explaining what emotions are. The part of the reason why I presented Level Up as for people who already have a solid foundation is because I don't want to have to go into basics, right? You know that emotions are energy in motion. You all have solid emotional intelligence. Okay. You know this. What I want to speak about, you can identify them, shifts and release and all things. What I want to speak about is going to the next level of depth with this. Emotional mastery when it comes to setbacks in who you want to be, setbacks in your goals, setbacks in your vision. So you have a solid vision, you're really self-aware, you're doing, maybe manifesting work, you are fucking dedicating space, you are disciplined, and then you have a setback. And what I so often see, and I see this a lot in private mentorship clients, can be so motivated and so clear and so clean on the goal in which you want to achieve. And the moment you experience a setback, it's a fucking derail. It's a derail. It's all the work you've done that you thought was embodied suddenly fucking spills out. And suddenly you're like, why am I doing this? What's the point? One of the big things that happens is like I've just burned it all down. Fuck it all. Like, don't worry about it. Right. And yeah, Nick's nodding. Yeah. And so what I want to support you all in this week is understanding that setbacks do not mean a derail. Setbacks are actually a very normal part of any journey, particularly a fucking personal growth journey. Because you're more aware. You cannot expect yourself to hold big visions, to have these big fucking goals, but then to like not be able to hold a setback, right? Because what will happen is a setback will come in and just fucking derail you. So today, this is emotional mastery in relation to setbacks, so that you can see that you can hold a setback. And instead of it derailing you, you're like, oh, okay, pivot required, cool. Like, it means what you say it means. It means what you say it means, right? Emotional mastery is not suppressing, avoiding emotions, right? It's not about going, oh, well, I'm just going to ignore that. Like the setback's just, I'm just going to ignore it. No. There is always something in a setback. Always. You think about that. There's a video, I think it is, and somebody's created. It's very, very smart. It's a staircase, and the person goes up the first staircase and then falls back on a trampoline, then jumps up and keeps doing this the whole way up to the top of the staircase. And by the time he gets to the top of the staircase, reaches the goal, the strength is just like fucking next level, right? And it was in the fall that the strength is acquired and the courage is ignited, and everything that's required to hold the fucking thing at the top is gained in the setback. Is gained in the setback. How you fucking hold yourself when you experience a setback is everything, and is so linked to the speed in which you reach your goals. Okay, we all have experienced it, everyone, and generally, particularly mothers and women, it'll be someone else, because I'm seeing the projection piece now. So it's like, oh, my child, or this or that, like whatever, you're blaming your clients, whatever it may be, right? So the setback's somebody else, and you're the victim in the setback. And when that occurs, you derail even further, because you're like, well, I've got no control over it because it's somebody else that's done this. When you can take that radical responsibility and hold the fact that you are the leader of your fucking life, and you get to choose how you respond to that which is occurring outside of you, that's all you, then you will continue on your journey, not just at speed to your goals, but with more strength, more awareness, more courage. And you will then have what is required to hold it when you make it. So when you hit your goal, instead of you then sabotaging it, throwing it away, losing it, whether it's money or whatever it may be, right? You can hold it. You've got the fucking emotional mastery within you to hold it. Jamie, such a perfect topic for this week. I have my first client booked in Saturday. So long, it's time. Yes. Fucking celebrating you. Amazing. Fucking amazing. So good. So good. So we want to allow ourselves to get to a place where we normalize setbacks. And most of you have done Rise and Shine, right? So we know that there's the grow and the glow. And sometimes when we are in this high caliber, like mastermind, where you're working on some really solid topics and really, choosing to level up your entire life, you forget that there's also grows. You forget that it's a very fucking normal, and I use that term just to explain. Obviously, there's fucking normal, just, different for everyone, but it's a very normal part of the journey. Okay. So this is about embracing, navigating, and using setbacks effectively. Okay. It's, you all know it's not linear. Growth's not linear. Just like meeting your goals is not linear. And can you imagine if you see this, where you are here and your goal here, and you see these little setbacks in between, if you are getting so fucking caught up in a setback, and the moment a setback occurs, you're in ego. Why is this happening to me? It's their fault, and it's too hard, and why do I bother? Imagine like just swirling around this setback, and then, okay, yep, derailed, now you go this way. Another setback swirling around. Or can you imagine just going, cool, setback, oh, yep, I can learn from that. Yep, cool, I can learn from that. Yep, cool. And then you reach your goal. Neither path is linear, but one is rapid at speed, and the other drags out everything, where you lose a whole week or you lose 2 weeks because you're fucking caught up on a setback. Right? The ability to reframe setbacks is a crucial fucking part of self-mastery. And I know that you all can do this, but I want you to bring it into goals. Bring it into this fucking mastermind. Bring it into your awareness around you leveling up your life. So, you know, I've taught and supported you all to go, what can I learn from this? What can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? And you do that day to day. When you have a setback, when you are leveling up your entire life and you're working on your devotion and your body and your goals and resting, and you work on all these things, and you experience a setback, are you still allowing yourself to hold that in an anchored way? So you're like, okay, what can I learn from this? Because the world's not against me. I'm doing great fucking things. I am devoted. I'm choosing to continue going. What can I learn from this? Because a setback on your pathway to leveling up your life brings up deep-rooted beliefs. It brings up deep-rooted beliefs, patterns, and shadows, so that you can create greater efficiency in meeting your goals. And unfortunately for most people, doing goals work and doing personal growth work, it's having the opposite effect. You'll have a setback and it's like, well, fuck. Can you see how you have trained your mind to be like this for certain areas? You've literally been doing it every Saturday morning. You're doing your reflection work. You're searching for the shadows, but then you have a setback and it's like, derailed. Can you imagine how different it could be if you had a setback in who you're being, how you're being, in your goals, in something that's occurring in your environment, and you allow yourself to go, okay, cool. This has come up just to show me the shadow. A setback may be a financial setback. It may be a physical setback. It may be something that, you know, anything that has changed the path, the perceived clear path to you reaching your goals. Anything that has intervened on the path that you've set. Because part of this has been visualization. Part of this has been doing your, you know, reading out your activation statement and being, you know, doing your morning and your evening meditations and, you know, being really clear on where you're going. And a setback is anything that deviates you from that solid vision of where you're going. Can you see a setback as a whisper, as like a little bird on your shoulder going, hey, I know this is your fucking vision, but if you just allow yourself to lean into this for one quick moment, you're actually going to have greater speed. Hey, I know you're really frustrated right now because you've been trying and so hard and showing up for yourself and everyone else so much right now. But if you allow yourself to look into this setback, then you will actually be way more powerful and you'll be able to hold the goal and have more capacity, right? When people experience setbacks, you'll often experience frustration, self-doubt, anger, fucking discouragement, right? And that's all normal shit. Like, that's normal, right? Normal. It's not about like removing that. It's about understanding you don't need to sit in it and fuel it. You don't need to allow those emotions to derail you. We know, and I mean, I'm sure I shared this in Rise and Shine because it's just a fact that blows my fucking mind, but emotions only last in the body for 60 seconds. The rest is actually the story, the mind feeding and fueling it. Isn't that wild? So when you think about like the rawness of an emotion at the birth of a setback, right? The moment this occurs and you might feel that frustration, 60 fucking seconds. That's what they say, right? 60 seconds. So this is not like avoiding or, you know, going into contraction. This is like, let yourself fucking feel it and move it. I mean, same as cravings. They have a physiological peak and then they leave. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So remember that if you can give just 1 minute to express that and to know, and you know this, emotions are energy, right? It's energy. It's this energy that's been birthed. Move it. Move your body, tap your body, cry. And then fucking remember who you are and rise. And stay in the story. I'm being shown a vision of after my mum passed away and I was sitting at the beach having the happiest day ever. And a song came on and I fucking like fully went, fell apart for literally a minute. And it was one of the first times that it was so ugly cry. And then I went and came back, and then I came on and done a story about it. And I was like, my vibration went from like to falling apart to like, oh, I've risen. And when you let yourself express that rawness for the 60 seconds and let it move through you without attaching a story, without being in the fucking mind, then it actually passes quite easily, right? The derail often occurs through the story. Okay, so the emotion comes along and maybe gives the train a bit of a push, and then it's the resistance, and it's the story, and then it's like, fuck, then the train derails. You derail. I had the same experience recently when I saw a stranger driving my grandfather's car. Oh, Nick, how beautiful. So you went from like just, I'm assuming, balance to, oh, big feelings, then back into balance, right? Yeah. And without, we have a choice, right? This is where emotional intelligence comes in. Like, I could have sat there on the beach crying, going, my mother's died. Like, I could have done that. Of course I could have. And same as Nick, right? But when you allow yourself to fully feel it, and then you use your emotional intelligence to go, okay, I've expressed that, and now I get to rise from that and not get caught up in the mind, then you don't derail. You just get stronger and more resilient. Curbs, that was me yesterday. When you shared the reel about the autism parent, yes, same. Watched him, cried, moved that energy, and then had the rise, right? Yeah. This is emotional intelligence. This is not letting the mind run away with stories and keep you in a fucking space where you derail. Okay? This is about allowing yourself to pivot, to feel, then pivot. And you can even see yourself as that train. It's like the big emotion is the big gush up the back of the train. It doesn't need to derail. You can let that gush run through the fucking carriage and then be released and stay on course, right? Or come up to the spot and just gently change course because of the energy you've received. But you don't need to derail from this, right? Setbacks, just like any growth, setbacks offer you a deeper understanding of yourself, a deeper understanding of others. It's easy to say that you're fucking a solid person when it's sunshine, isn't it? It's easy to say that you're a positive person when everything's fucking rosy. But who are you in a setback? Like, that's the growth. That's the stuff that's going to have you leveling up who you are and how you are. It's in going, okay, this setback's showing me pieces and parts that have perhaps been hidden. It feels uncomfortable. I'm leaning into this. I'm allowing myself to see it. I'm getting the fucking wisdom out of it so that I can continue even more powerfully, even more self-aware. Setbacks often occur to those with those closest to us, so children, partners. It'll be things that like are deemed outside of ourselves. So we see it as like a sacrifice, and then we're like, I'm just trying to help them, and now I've derailed my thing. It's like, no. You can stay on fucking course, and you can stay achieving your goals while supporting others. You do not have to allow the energy out here to derail you. You can feel frustrated, you can feel upset for them, you can feel a bit overwhelmed, but you do not have to allow that to derail you. You can allow that to make you even stronger. You can allow that to get you to a place where you know that there's nothing outside of you that can derail you. And that's fucking power. Like, that is the most immense level of personal power. Like, I know from my own personal experience, I couldn't even imagine a circumstance that it would take to derail me. And that's not because I've learned, in courses and shit, right? This is because I have had practice time and time and time and time and time again. And my mum gifted this to me so much. Her living with us, it was constant, like, is she alive? Like, she's fallen, another hospital visit, the doctor ring. Like, it was this constant exposure to high, intense, unpredictable moments of stress that supported me in building such a level of resilience that there's absolutely nothing that I could imagine that would derail me. Yeah, I feel all the emotions like anyone else. I can feel frustration or overwhelm or sadness, whatever it may be, but it doesn't derail me, right? If it derailed me, I wouldn't have, my business would be fucking nothing, wouldn't it? Right? Just had a marriage separation. Has it derailed me? Not at all. Like stronger than ever, showing up better than ever. You do not have to have, these situations derail you from being who you want to be, from having what you want to have. Like who you are and how you be is on you. It is on you. And you get to choose to utilize these setbacks, utilize them to support you, to building more resilience, to getting more proof within yourself that no matter what fucking happens outside of you, you will reach your goals. The ego loves setbacks. The ego's like, yep, see, knew you wouldn't fucking change, right? It's because of them. It's because your child was sick. It's because your boss is a cunt. It's because, like, whatever, right? Great excuse for the ego to stay how you are. But the soul's like, hey, lean in. We're giving you a great gift right now. Like, your guides are giving you a great gift. The gift of such a high level of empowerment that you know that regardless of pushing and pressure and whatever's pushing on those fucking like carriages of the train that you are, you don't derail. You might rest. You might put the brake on for a bit. You might change your path, but you don't derail. And you do this through practice. Curbs, this is where I've changed the most. I agree, Kirby. Like this time last year, it was constant, but how did you get to that? How did you get to that? And if you don't mind me sharing, I know it's been, you've shared this in our open spaces. You've gotten to that through the opposite, right? Through many setbacks, through often going, oh my God, this has happened and this is so shit and da 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 da, right? And then being in a space where it's been like, get up. Yeah, feel it, but get up. What do you get out of that? How can you grow from that? It's like it doesn't, you don't just wake up being a master of your emotions. You don't just wake up being incredibly resilient. This is built. And when you can see setbacks from and this is particularly in relation to your personal growth, because you've all invested in level up. You've all invested to level up all areas of your life. And when you can see setbacks, anything that you feel that the ego is telling you is derailing you from creating the goal that you set out, from being the version of you that you want to be, anything that is a setback is actually gifting you and an opportunity for deeper understanding, gifting you to have stronger resilience. Right? I have a little exercise to share. Because I know that every single one of you have experienced trauma and have experienced big things. I know this, and I really want to bring this to your awareness to support you in really integrating this. So I want you to just for a moment think about a recent setback. Stop, a shift, an unexpected variable arising, a setback or an emotional challenge in your growth. Just think about anything that's occurred for you recently. Let's go since starting the program, right? Just for a moment, just reflect on what emotions it triggered within you. How did you navigate it? Just have curiosity, of course, as always, have curiosity and compassion as you gain this awareness of self. Honestly, not how you think you could, not what you know you're capable of handling it. How did you actually navigate it? We're going to come back to that. So just let that go, allow it to come in and come out. To have awareness of how you've navigated a recent setback. When we speak about emotional mastery, yes, there's the understanding of what they are. I think that that's a foundation. I wouldn't even call that mastery. I think that that's just understanding what emotions, really. That's basic stuff. You are all at a level of above that. So your basic understanding of emotions is like that foundation. And to be the master of your emotions, you kind of go into these newer levels. You have the like the pillars, what's holding it up, right? We know awareness is a big part of it. We all know, and you've all learned, particularly doing the practice each Saturday morning, you've all learned that it's important to have curiosity and compassion. The moment you have blame and shame or judgment, you stay the same. And can you bring that into your setbacks? Can you allow yourself to have that awareness when you experience a setback? Because you're going to have them. I guarantee you, every single person that sets a goal, particularly when you have strong vision and you are devoted and you are fucking disciplined and you are dedicated, you're going to have setbacks. And it is always to support you, always. So if you can have that awareness with this area of your life as well, where you are curious and you have compassion, that's going to support you in getting underneath what the setback can do for you, what wisdom it's holding for you. The other one is acceptance, right? Can you allow the emotions to exist without fucking suppressing them and denying them? Like, all emotions are part of being human. What we cling to grows, right? What we try to avoid gets bigger. I done a session recently on a beautiful woman, and she was experiencing an inner storm. I call it an inner storm, you know, and this beautiful analogy came up during her session. And I said to her, you know, she was so hung up on this storm. Like, she's like, oh, I'm just, you know, it's just so bad and it's so hard and it's so deep and it's so dark. I'm in this inner storm. And you know, I'm supporting her by seeing herself as, you know, cyclic, and you have your storm and your sun and your summer, autumn, winter, spring, all within you in your moods. You know, you have these experiences of being human. And so she was so tight around the storm. So she's like, oh, it's just so bad. And she was so contracting. But then when she'd experienced sunshine, which she'd had over that period of time, it just came and just came in and left. And I said to her, can you imagine how different it would be if you approached your storm, your inner storm, the same way you approached your inner sun, or vice versa, right? Can you imagine how different that would be for you? If, like, the storm just come and you're like, oh yeah, cool, it is what it is. Like, when you're in a space of sunshine, inner sun, the glow, you're not like, oh my God, this is so bad. Like, and you're not like, there's no big resistance. You're not grabbing onto it. You're just like, oh, this is good. Like, I feel good. And it comes and it goes and it fucking flows. But then in a storm, it's like this judgment, this shame, this blame, this something's wrong, this holding onto it, this resistance, which makes it even fucking stronger. And so instead of the storm passing quickly, flowing through, it stays. It's like a fucking 3-day storm, right? The same with your emotional mastery, when you can allow yourself to let it fucking flow, to not cling to, not create stories from the emotions that arise, and just simply allow yourself to feel them and for them to flow the same way you do when you're fucking feeling great. Then you'll master emotions. Like, have you ever sat there and journaled on why you're feeling so happy and there's something wrong with you, and, like, you know, really like double down and like investigate and being like worried, and you go see a healer because you're like, oh, there's just something wrong, I'm just so happy and I'm just so, you know, you're like obsessing over it. No, you don't. Right? You let yourself just feel it and you experience it, and it comes and it goes and it flows. So while there are times, yes, and I'll just, as a side note, there's going to be times, of course, where you require support when something big occurs, or, you know, if you're struggling to shift yourself, of course. But generally speaking, when an emotion arises, you have the capacity, you have the awareness to know that it's going to pass. You don't need to hold on to it, to judge it, to cling on to it. Simply allow it to come and go, to have the same level of flow that the sunshine has, the same level of flow that your glows have. Right? So we look at the emotional mastery from the awareness point of view, the acceptance, accepting that these emotions are part of the journey, right? Curbs, a storm comes, releases, and rolls on. Yeah. And the sun comes and shines and then sets, right? So when you can, like, It seems so fucking basic, but when you can apply this to your goals, to the fucking path you are on to level up your entire life, who you are, how you are, and you can see these setbacks, these emotions that arise during setbacks as that, just let it come and go. Like lean in, well, okay, what's it got for me? What can I learn from it? What's required to shift or recalibrate here, and then create more efficiency, and you continue on your path. Versus losing hours, days, weeks, and derailing yourself from your goals, right? The other pillar is expression, and you all know this. You don't need to be told how to fucking like express your emotions. I think that you all are at that level, like, you know. But the reminder here for you is to express your emotions in real time. In real time. That's the flex. When you experience a setback and you feel that emotion, feel it, and let it roll in and roll out. You know, even when you want to use like practices or processes like journaling, that's more effective in real time. Movement to move the emotion through you is more effective in real time, right? Do it when you're feeling it instead of thinking, I'm going to journal on that tonight. You're going to journal on that tonight. So for 10 fucking hours, it's going to be sitting here in your unconscious mind, fucking getting fed and fed and fed and fed. Do it in real time. If you're at work, go to the toilet and just do a little bit of a on your phone, like release, like, you know, do a journal in your notes and then delete it. Move your body. Like everybody can move your body. It doesn't matter what you do for work. Like you would never be in a space where you can't actually just do a little bit of a tap or a shake, right? Use your expression to release those emotions in real time. Movement's obviously most effective when you're in the fucking peak of rage, right? And just sit there and be stuck in it and hung up in it, and then you're like, oh yeah, I probably should move some of that emotion. Do it in real time. The fourth pillar, which is the four kind of things that hold up this emotional mastery, you know, way of being, is regulation. So managing and shifting emotion intentionally, supporting yourself so that you have the capacity to respond and not react. And everything you've been learning up until now supports you in being regulated, right? Getting enough sleep, fueling your body enough. So the piece that we've done on rest and the piece we've done on body, it's, you know, supporting you in having regulation within yourself. So you know, awareness, acceptance, expression, and regulation. And I wanted you to make it so fucking real for yourself right now. I know for a fact that many of you have had setbacks since the beginning of this program, and you've probably flowed through them. You're like, oh, it's okay. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to stay focused. I'm talking about the ones that tried to derail you, the big ones, the ones where you had yourself questioning, like, oh, I don't even need to do my goals. Like, it's like, what's the point, right? The big times. The awareness, acceptance, the expression, and the regulation, they are all tied together with presence. With presence. When you are feeling or experiencing a setback, give yourself the presence to be aware, to even just for 1 second, to have that acceptance of what you're feeling. For 10 seconds to express it and to regulate yourself. And all that is a little kick up the butt then. That setback becomes just a little bit of a shove. Like, it actually makes you faster. After my mum passed away, I had a lot of frustration, but also anger. There was like these remnants. And I didn't feel consciously angry, but it was unconscious. And so it would come out in other ways. It would come out when I was boiling, come out when I was at capacity, it would come out when I was busy, whatever it may be. And a practice that I used back then, which I fucking love, which you can use for any emotion, is this triangle. And obviously my logo is a triangle, so I resonated really deeply with that. But everything to me is a triangle. It's a body, mind, soul. It's a threes. And so the practice that I would use is acknowledge, aware, presence. And I had this like thing that I used to, like, it just used to go around and around in my brain. So I was training myself to really catch it. And it was like, anger, awareness, presence, anger, awareness, presence. And I would just go around and around and around and around. And so same for a different emotion, it was like frustration, awareness, presence. And so the moment you experience the emotion, say it. Say it. This sounds basic, but I'm telling you now, I was doing this just 3 years ago. And I'd been working with emotions and working, on psychology for fucking years. So it seems basic, but it's so powerful. You see it in your mind as the triangle, right? So you're like, name the emotion, say awareness and presence, because whenever you go disappointment, awareness, presence. So you're aware of it and you're bringing presence. And that is about you going, okay, I am here right now. Instead of I'm fucking derailed, because the emotion is bigger than what my awareness is right now. So I invite you to draw a triangle, and have that in your mind. It's like acknowledge, awareness, presence, have the 3 sides. And whenever you are experiencing a setback, and obviously you can use this in any area of your life, but this is, purposeful for your goals and for leveling up all areas of your life. Acknowledge what you're feeling. Acknowledge or name the emotion. Then if you train your brain to go awareness, presence, awareness, like, okay, I'm aware that I'm experiencing this right now. I'm choosing to actually see that I'm experiencing this right now. And the presence is when you are in real present time, you only experience, you don't suffer. You only experience when you are deeply present, right? And so leading yourself with that is going to support you in being so fucking regulated and so aware. There's obviously, you guys know, other somatic tools, like that you're breathing, you're grounding, you're reframing. You know that, right? You know that your setbacks are nothing more than a sign to adjust your approach, or a little bird saying, hey, there is a shadow under here. It's been lurking, and your son or your daughter or your boss is actually the beautiful gift to bring this up so that you can actually function more cleanly, more powerfully, right? So much of personal growth is knowing yourself. And when you can know yourself without judgment, and when you can go, okay, cool, like I can see that I'm like this, then you can shift it, right? Then you can shift it. The little gifts, you all are aware enough to know, like to look underneath and go, okay, well, what triggered this setback, and what beliefs or fears or wounds have come up because of that? What's the shadow that's come up? What's the shadow? Because the emotion is just the lid, right? That's just the top bit. But what's underneath it? What's the belief? Is it I'm not worthy? Is it the sabotager? Like, what's underneath that? Because when you are able to have this awareness and this presence and really fucking be in it and feel like you have this reflection, the ability to reflect. And that's emotional mastery. Like, recognize the shadow, having the discernment to go, okay, yeah, this is a shadow. I'm actually not even fucking tired. And the shadow is telling me to go sleep now. Like, this is actually me just disconnecting, or me, dissociating, right? Navigate setbacks with emotional mastery. You all are at that level, and you all can choose to lead with this, right? Grace, awareness, fucking presence, curiosity, in real time, right? When often the emotion that comes up when you're looking at your goals and you're leveling up, and often the emotion that comes up when doing that, and when you're really motivated and you're doing really well, is self-doubt. Like, why am I even doing this? Like, what's the point? And all of a sudden the ego's driving this fucking train off the rails. I was happy before. Like, what? Why bother? Right? These are the kind of things that come up with a setback, and really fucking common. And the medicine for that, once you've allowed yourself to feel it and to be present and to come back into this place of awareness, the medicine for that is actually reaffirming your vision and coming back into your devotion, your why. And this is where your activation statement is so powerful. This is where your 2025 version of you is so powerful, because when you experience a setback, you go, this is fucking why. Come back to your why. When you are questioning why, go back into your why, right? It's not a perfect journey. Doesn't matter what you are choosing to grow, what you are choosing, and whether it's you guys are going all in, you're doing like leveling up all areas of your life. But even if you're doing just one little thing, whether it's weight loss or saving money or whatever it may be, right? There are always going to be setbacks. Always. What you want to focus on is the process of it. So accepting that setbacks are a part of the process, and progression over perfection. Progression over perfection. You can see the setback as a little bird showing you your inner wisdom, and that will allow you to have that solution-based focus. And it's with that solution-based focus that you get the wisdom out, and you're like, fuck yeah, and you will build such a level of fucking emotional mastery that you will stay on track no matter what. You might pull the brake up a bit, you might change paths a little bit because you see a better pathway, but you remain on track for your life, for your goals, for you. Like, you've created this. This is what you want. So I want you to think back to that exercise, the exercise that we went through before, where you were thinking of a recent time you experienced a setback, an unexpected, variable arising, something that came in and kind of felt like a setback. And when you were asked to reflect on your emotions and to how that, what that triggered in you, how you felt, how you navigated it. I want you to think about that time again. And just imagine for a moment applying these methods. So imagine that you were back there in that time and you were able to acknowledge the emotion, have the awareness and the presence, that you see the setback as very clear. It's a little bird saying, hey, there's a better way. Let's get stronger. Let's get more solid. Let's get more resilience. You're going to need courage to hold that goal. You're going to need courage to be that version of you. Like, this setback's going to give you the courage. I want you to create a new perspective on that situation. So that you could see that setback as an absolutely fucking beautiful opportunity to pivot, to be better. So you can see the setback as like, it was needed to support you in reaching your goals. You might like to write this down. You might like to, as I speak about it, you might like to write it down. You look at that setback from the solution-based focus of, okay, I'm dedicated to my goals. How can that serve me? How can that serve me? What's being built through the setback? Curbs, as you said, a little birdie, your wisdom, a little fairy, wren was in the tree out the window behind me chirping. How beautiful. How beautiful. Perspective is so important. So important. Remember, the ego is constantly looking for ways for you to like stay the same. So the ego's like sees a setback and he's like, fucking woohoo! We are about to derail this fucking shit. You are not changing. You are not fucking growing. Yes. Right? It's up to you to be so aware of that. Don't allow the excuse and the energy of the ego to derail you. It's like, it's never a derail. It's always a pivot. This little bird just going, okay, you can actually do this a bit better. You can acquire some extra little bit of strength here. I wouldn't have been able to focus on the rest of my knee. Did injury, I wouldn't have left my job. Yeah, if you didn't get injured. Yes. Yeah, and so that's a beautiful example. I love that you've been able to reflect on that, Curbs. Okay, so what you've seen as a setback, you're like, fuck, I'm in level up and now my knee's fucked out and oh, I can't swim now, I can't focus on my fitness. Hold on, did that not make you stronger? Yes. Did that not support you in shifting your pathway to one that's more aligned? Yes. And every single setback, even Eileen, like I'm coming into you now with the bub situation where, there was a time where you guys weren't on board together, and this felt like a setback. It was like, oh my God, like, how will we navigate this? How will I navigate this? And that gifted you with this opportunity to go even deeper, right? Within yourself, to know yourself, to have that standard, to hold that, and also for him, right? And so what was perceived as a setback at the time that could have derailed, I suppose, the whole thing, was actually nothing more than that little birdie going, hey, let's do it better. Let's have a deeper experience in this pregnancy. Let's have a more connected experience. Let's be really intentional and really truly be clear on what we want here, right? Yeah, I had to level up my trust big time. And so how will that support you for the rest of your not just leveling up your life, but the remainder of your pregnancy? Trust is needed hugely in labor, in the whole pregnancy journey, right? Trust is a pivotal fucking strength. And you were gifted. That came in the way of setback, and you were gifted with that at the beginning, right? Not to derail you, to pivot you into a place of having more strengths, right? More strengths. I do want to mention the somatics of emotions, because we know emotions are felt in the body. We know the body keeps score, and I know that you guys are really aware, but I want to mention it as a reminder, okay? As a little reminder. When we embody, and I love the word embody, and every time I say embody, even though I'm saying embody, I say in body, right? Because knowledge is in the mind. You learn in the mind, but when you drop it into your body, it's embodied, right? And I just love the way of looking at that. So having some somatic awareness supports you in embodying emotional mastery. Okay, so where are you feeling your emotions? Is it your chest, shallow breath? Is it you're tense in your shoulders? Like being really in your body when you drop into that the corner of the triangle that is awareness. That's going to support you in really, really getting it, right? So where in your body are you feeling that emotion? And then moving, again, using that power to move, allowing them to move through you. The other part here is having intentional movement regularly, so that you are not building up, a whole heap of fucking emotions and having them ready to just derail at any moment. So regularly releasing avoids that build-up. Neat, I have to leave, but I'll catch this later as I have 2 weeks to catch up on, so that's part of my day today. I'm off to do a wedding. Enjoy your wedding. Have a beautiful day, Neat. Let me know how you go with your catch-ups, right? So we want to be able to drop into our body to further embody the practice. So when you're doing your triangle and you hit your awareness triangle, you're naming the emotion, you're aware of it. Where are you aware of it? Where is in your body? Whereabouts are you feeling it, right? And this, as a double up, supports you in being present, doesn't it? Like you're out of the mind, you're into the body, you're having that deep presence. Okay. We're going to do a little exercise now where you get to feel yourself embodying resilience, okay, this emotional resilience. So when we experience a setback, you want to be able to activate this part. We're going to create an anchor today. We know that the resilience is the ability to bounce back. We know that every setback is building your resilience. It's that little bird chirping on your shoulder, building resilience, right? You are all self-led women. You don't avoid, okay? Like you are beyond avoiding and suppressing. Like you lean in, you go fucking deep, you remember who you are and you rise. Okay, so what I want you to do today to be really in your body. So I invite you to stand up, and you don't have to obviously see me. I'm just going to explain it for a moment. Jane, I've had lots of heel pain in my left foot this week. That just jumped out as you spoke. Yeah, there you go. And so it's addressing that, and it's coming into that, it's nurturing that, and it's looking at, what's being stored there. Is that fear of moving forward, is that fear of, stepping forward and clearing that. It doesn't derail, it gives you greater awareness, it gives you greater resilience. So standing up and just checking in with your body for a moment. So you might like to put your hands in your chest, and just taking a nice deep breath in and out. Just noticing how your body feels without judgment, just allowing yourself to witness how you're feeling in this very moment, bringing awareness to yourself and to your body. I want you to now, with your eyes closed, think of a time where you felt resilient. Think of a time where you experienced this incredible, empowering feeling of resilience, a time where you bounced back, time where you chose to rise, where you remembered who the fuck you were and you chose to rise. And I want you to tap into the emotions and the physical sensations associated with that experience. Stand taller, breathe deeply. Feel the full strength of your resilience, the resilience that exists within you. Reactivate that now. Create this anchor again. Every moment that you have chosen to lean in and then stand back up, to remember who the fuck you are and rise, all of your resilience, every time you got back up. Allow yourself to soak in this. Allow this to be held in your body right now. Remember it in each and every cell of your body. Stand taller, stand stronger, firmer, greater self-leadership, greater empowerment. And choose now to lead with this, fully accepting that setbacks, bumps are just a part of the journey. That without bumps, you wouldn't have this resilience that you are feeling, that you are activating in your body right now, this empowerment, this strength, this courage that you are feeling in your body for every time you have bounced back. That has occurred for you because of setbacks. And now reframe that. Your setbacks are whispers of wisdom. They support you for your journey. They allow you to lead more efficiently. Never a derail, always a pivot, always wisdom. And taking a breath in and allowing yourself to really soak in all of that energy now as you deeply embody this knowledge. 1, 2, 3. Breathing in and out. And sitting back down now, you may like to keep a hand on your chest. And noticing how you feel within yourself. You may like to share how you feel, how that experience was for you. You don't get the resilience without the setback, okay? Every single setback offers you growth, strength, pivots. I've had lots of, that was the last message. I was about to reread that, Jane. Be aware of patterns. See them, clear them. You have been doing shadow work on yourself every single Saturday. When you recognize a setback and you see a shadow or a sabotage or something coming up that you have experienced before, fucking see it in real time. Acknowledge your feeling, have the awareness, come into presence. Continue building upon your emotional mastery throughout the days, throughout the setbacks, the check-ins, the unexpecteds. This is a continuous process of awareness, acceptance, expression, regulation. Have the discipline and the fucking devotion to lean into this. Because I'm telling you, you will never, ever read a story of success, of somebody creating whatever they want to, whether it's a creation, a vision, a business, whatever it may be. You will never hear of a situation where somebody has reached their goals without setbacks. It is a part of it. And I've loved seeing you all lead yourselves powerfully. And there's been a few of you that have had quite an onslaught of setbacks. Actually, interestingly, Cass and Cara have had really big setbacks, and they're both not on the call today. Witnessing this, I want you to know that it's never a derail. It's always a pivot, and that is a fucking part of reaching goals. And when you experience these setbacks, it's going to support you in holding the goal when you reach it. It's building the courage, it's building the resilience, it's building the mastery, so that when you get it, you don't fucking sabotage it. So when you get it, you hold it, right? Nick, I had a huge wave of energy, fire explode from my root to my crown and out. Wow, felt so strong, empowered and solid. Yeah. That's that piece. That's like remembering who the fuck you are, right? And then suddenly you look at the setback you had last week that you lost hours or even a day over, and you're like, fuck. Can you imagine how different the path would look if you activated that in real time when you're doing your triangle of naming the emotion, the awareness, and the presence, real time of having that setback, and then activating that energy. Curves, I felt like I was swaying back and forwards with each area. I felt setbacks and jumped back. I felt setbacks and jumped back forwards. Okay, so setback is a jump back, and then you always leap. Always. Right? It's almost like that's a really fucking cool analogy. What I was just showing was me in year 8 at young fucking high school when we got the what were they called, that you run off, like the little things that look like shoes, and you put your shoe against it to start running. And so a setback is like you're down on the ground. It looks like you're not moving. It looks like you've stopped, but you're actually about to fucking pivot off that so fast. You could stand up and you could run, or you can get down and get yourself solid and pivot and move and vault off that. Eileen, I had a few memories come back, and these were not times I was expecting, but they were times when I really allowed the emotions, and they were big, but they were the ones that built resilience, not the times that I moved through easy. Yeah, and that's the goal, right? It's reminding yourself that actually in all of those setbacks, you built resilience. In all of those setbacks, you were gifted with activating your fucking courage. That's the part of reaching your goals, of becoming the version of you want to be, of leveling up all areas of your life. You can't fucking just skip to the good part, because skipping to the good part is going to have you reach your goal and then fall apart, and you won't hold it, right? This is a part of the process. Jamie, I saw timelines collapsing and bright sparks of light energy running up and down through my spine. Just wrote something that came from your first sentence about whispers of wisdom. I'll share in the group later. Would love to hear it. I got fucking goosebumps all down my left side reading that. Beautiful. Jane, thank you so much for sharing. So as you continue leveling up all areas of your life, as you continue doing this work, remember, the world's not against you. These setbacks are happening for you, whether it comes through the form of children having illness, the business having challenges, yourself having challenges, physical challenges, whatever it happens for you. Know it is happening for you. Know that it is an opportunity for you to recalibrate, for you to reset, for you to pivot, because it's never a derail, it's always a pivot. Never a derail, always a pivot. And that is fucking key. And that is the difference between people who set goals and reach them, and people who set goals and fucking let every setback knock them off course and wait till next year to set new goals, right? Curbs, I always bounce back. It's been in my head the last few weeks because I always do. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Eileen, was that the whispers of wisdom when the birds speak? That was so, so powerful for me. Oh, yeah. Nick's got a hand up. Yeah. Oh, no. What are you doing there, Nick? You're doing your hair? Oh, the spray. Yes, I love those. Beautiful. I was like, I feel like that would be what's the word, off brand if you were like there like putting hairspray in or something. So keep rising. This is fucking crucial this week, and it had to be now because you've all been moving through big things the last couple of weeks. We're under eclipse energy. Things are going to be collapsing for all of us, okay? Not to lean into the moons. I'll talk more about this inside Moons and I, but to just give a little brief summary. We're under a full moon. We're under an eclipse. This energy is about stripping back and peeling back. Like, let it fucking go. Same with setbacks. Never a derail, always a pivot, allowing you to strengthen the path, not to fucking move away from the path, okay? Surrounding you all in lots and lots and lots of love. I have love today. Please feel free to share in the group anything that's come up for you. Jane, please do share what you've written. I'd love to see it. I'll be waiting for that. And know that I am here. If you experience a setback, remember, as long as it has a solution focus, share it to the group. It is not being a victim by sharing a setback that you're experiencing. If you have the goal to move through it, I'm here for it. We're here for it. Okay. If you're like, I know I'm in a setback, there's got to be wisdom, I'm struggling to find it, put it in the group. Let me support you. Let us all support you. Okay. You are here to reach your goals. Setbacks are going to be a part of it. Be one step ahead by being so aware of that. So aware of that. And so you reframe it. And so you know that the journey is not linear, that you'll have these setbacks, and when you have them, they are going to fucking support you in reaching them even greater. Have a beautiful, beautiful Saturday. I will see some of you tomorrow for Moons and I. The rest of you, I will see next Saturday. I will talk to you soon. Mwah. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Please do share that in the group, Jane.